Good morning. Welcome. I'm back. Happy Tuesday, beautiful people. I'm Babz Rawls Ivy, and you're listening to Lovebabz, Lovetalk on 103.5 WNHH. You know, we're live streaming all over the place. Of course, NewHavenIndependent.org, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, wherever Harry has us, that's where we are. So this morning, I'm happy to be talking. I'm not spinning any music today. I'm happy to be talking to Karimah Weber, who is the president of the New Haven Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I love when Soras show up to my job.
Thank you for
How are
having me.
you?
I'm good. Excited to be here.
Welcome back from Morocco.
Oh, yes. I had a great time.
I love the pictures.
Thank you.
You looked very holy.
It was a great experience and much needed time away.
Mm-hmm.
So
you looked very holy. So we're here today to talk about Delta Day tomorrow at City Hall.
Yes.
Because we have a Sora in the big chair over at the City Hall.
Oh, yes.
But it doesn't matter.
Yes. So we are here to talk about that. It'll be our Delta Day City Hall. The topic is He Said, She Said, and we're partnering with Mega Sci-Fi Epsilon Iota chapter.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be at City Hall from 5:30 to 8:30. And the theme is really about, it's picking up from last year. We had the topic was the Me Too movement.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of discussion around that. And after the session, which was really well attended and got a lot of great feedback on it, we looked across the room and noticed that it was really a one-sided conversation. There weren't barely any men in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we wanted to pull in a men's organization so that we can expand that conversation. So the themes that we'll cover are around how women and men or boys or girls are socialized, how that could lead to sometimes harassment and violence, toxic masculinity, just, the Me Too movement as well. So we're looking to have, to engage in those conversations in a safe space. We have some really great facilitators. Maisa Akbar is going to be one.
Sora Maisa Akbar.
Yes, Sora Maisa Akbar.
I love to say that the Illuminati is in full bloom.
Yes, then we have, let me make sure I get the right name, Mr. Fahad Fahidi and Sora Nadi Award as well.
Mm-hmm. So this is going to be great. Now, we've been doing these, we've been leading on these conversations that matter.
Yes.
For like the last 2 years.
Yes.
The first year we launched it, and everybody's like, whoa, they are really going there with some of these conversations. And we covered a lot of things.
Yes, we did.
Reentry to housing to, all kinds, education, all these kinds of things. And so this seems like a natural progression of those larger conversations.
Absolutely.
This is much more focused.
Yes.
Okay, so now I am on the Social Action Committee, but I never make it to the meetings.
But you're there.
I know, but I love it. But I never make it to the meetings. But I understand that this was near and dear to people's hearts, that they really wanted to have this conversation because it's timely.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree.
And I think collegiate women should be taking the lead on these kinds of conversations.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. And I think when we kicked off the community conversations that matter 2 years ago, it was response to the election.
Mm-hmm.
And people being in, everywhere you went, people were either shell shocked. They just didn't really know what to do, didn't really know how to interpret what had happened. So the intent was to pull in folks to have a conversation, pull in people who knew, the politics of it all, who understood, emotionally what people were going through. So it was, and once we did it and we saw the response, we just kept it going.
And did you feel like people were hopeful?
Yes.
Like they felt like it was very healing.
Yes.
Because I think you said it right. People needed a place to sort of have this conversation because they were feeling just like at the end of their rope.
Right. I mean, really, people woke up like, did that really happen? So it was, I enjoyed it. We had music and we did it in a church. Bethel took us in. And since then, we've been at synagogues. We've been in schools. So the intent is to meet people where they are. And like you said, we've done a number of different topics. We even penned a letter to 45 and had over 200 community members sign it. And we all put it together, the key components of it. So, I mean, I really enjoy it because it's not only giving a place for people to come and engage in those conversations, but at the same time, it's building community, right?
Yes.
So I think it allowed us to meet our community members where they are. And it just, I loved it. And so we'll continue. We've done a few this year. We just had one where we presented our legislative agenda.
Yes.
And so we'll continue those in the upcoming sorority year as well.
I mean, I love that we launched in the Black church.
Yes.
Because that is, at the heart of everything that we are and who we are. And you know what? Having it at a Black church, people have reverence for that still. And so they behave.
Yeah, right. And that's a good
You know
thing.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you had it somewhere else, people would have came out their bag a little bit more. But I think people understand that when you're in a church, some modicum of respectability has to remain.
Yes. No, I think that's a good point.
Yes. So just FYI for the future when we have these hot topic kinds of things, like, ooh, let's take it to the church because people will behave a little bit differently.
That's a good point.
So tell me about the Delta Day, because this is not new. This is not our first time doing this. No. We've been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah. So Delta Day at City Hall is the offspring of our Delta Day in the nation's capital, and we've been doing that. We're celebrating 30 years of Delta Days in the nation's capital, and basically what it does is it gives us an opportunity to come together and to discuss public policy. We get to learn about the important things. Now, let me just say this: Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is nonpartisan, but we are very we care about the issues.
Meaning we're not going to tell you who to vote for.
Exactly.
But we're going to raise your voting awareness.
Exactly. Voter awareness, in addition to advocating for the issues, because that's what we care about. We're all about public service and making sure that we are investing in educating our community. So that's really what's important for us. So with Delta Days in the nation's capital, it gives us an opportunity. We go out, we talk public policy. We talk about the bills that are important to us. We get charged up. A lot of people from across the country. We have NAACP, all the leading organizations. They come out, we present. So it's really an empowering time. We get fired up. We meet on the Capitol steps. We take pictures. We meet with our legislators in Washington. So we bring the things that are important to us at city, at the state, at our specific states to Washington. And then we, expect to meet with them coming home. So that's where we have the state capitol, which will be coming up on May 16th. And that's where all the Connecticut state chapters come together. And we talk about the things impacting the state. And then you just, as you drill down, now you talk about the city. And so here we're advocating and talking about the things that are important to us in the city. And we believe, based on the discussions, because we always survey after our events, that this is one of those things that's still just as important as it was a year ago and a year before that. And that's this whole socialization of men and women, the Me Too, and how we deal with masculinity and all of that. So that's why. And I think it's timely just thinking about all of the discussion that's going on with Biden and other people and stuff. Yeah, I won't go there, but it's just, I think it's good to engage in a conversation.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think, aside from from, you know, the good times that we have in sorority life. And we have a damn good time, don't get me wrong. We throw some great parties and some great activities. But I think what gets lost is that people don't understand how much work goes into these kinds of things and how we are on the cusp and always on the ground for these kinds of issues, advocating for these kinds, whatever the issue is that is important to our community. We are right there in the forefront and have been so since 1913.
Absolutely.
Right? Like on the forefront of issues that affect our communities. So it's not always just a party with a purpose. There is a whole lot of purpose.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, founded 1913, January 13 on the campus of Howard University by 22 visionary women. They started off, one of our first public acts was the Women's Suffrage March. And we, you know, and that is something that, you know, back in a time when there was no voting for women, let alone for Black women. We stood in that march and we marched even then. And every since then, anywhere you look in the world, you're going to see a Delta woman. And everything we do is based on our 5-point programmatic thrust. So, you know, when we go and when you come and see us or you attend one of our events, you know, all of our programming it's intentional. It's built around that 5-point programmatic thrust, which is educational development, economic development. We look at international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement. So these are things that are important to us. And, you know, so yes, there's a lot of work that goes into this, you know, planning, making sure we have the right venues, you know, make sure that we're inclusivity is really important to us, right? So we don't want to have one-sided conversations. It's important to have both. So when we have our Delta Day at City Hall, it's important to have both sides of the, you know, both voices. You have the men, you have men, and you can have women. So yeah, I think I'm glad you raised that up, that it takes a lot of work, but it's worth it. It
does.
It's worth it.
And you know, as I try to explain to people the Divine Nine, you know, the idea of the Divine Nine, and that's the fraternities and sororities, Black fraternities and sororities, Black Greeks. You know, we do a lot of work in our communities to sort of, and we're not doing things that just that are solely at the collegiate level. That we are in all of the communities trying to make a path for a better way for all of us.
Right. Yeah.
For all of us. I mean, we do things like talk about the Delta Gyms a little bit and that whole concept of why that is important.
Oh, yes. So we have our mentoring program, which is our Delta Academy and our Delta Academy in gyms. And our Delta Academy is for ages 11 through 14 and our gyms 11 through 18. And what that does is allows us to provide mentoring to young girls. For the ages 11 through 14, it's really focused more on the STEM. It's about building life skills, the importance of pursuing academics. And then when you think about from the age 14 to 18, it's building upon that, getting them ready, life skills, and, you know, instilling that importance of academics, furthering their education. And so we traditionally start in the October timeframe and we meet all the way through June. And what it does, we have a number of topics. We have our STEM days. We have these where we'll even invite Planned Parenthood in to talk about healthy relationships and, you know, self-image and care of your body and, you know, the different changes that your body goes through. We have successful women of color. We'll have women throughout the area from all organizations come in and greet and meet our young ladies and talk to them and pour and invest in them. So it's really important. I think it's so important now when I think about some of the struggles of our young Black women and Latino young girls, you know, struggling with body image and you know, the issues in school and things of such. So I believe it's one of our longstanding and New Haven alumni chapter programs, and I don't see us getting rid of it anytime soon because it's just that critical. And we meet once a month on Saturdays. And one of the things that one of our projects that they assist us with, which is really their project that I love, is they are our leaders of our free market that we do in June. Yes.
This thing has a life of its own, this free market concept.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that. What is that? Tell them about what the free market is.
So what it is that we kind of, for our young girls, we talk about public service and the importance of public service. So what we'll do early on when the sessions start is talk about, okay, what's the meaning of public service? And a lot of times they're already doing it in some capacity, whether it's church or what have you, their parents, right? They're doing different things, nursing homes, etc. And so we talk about what it is. And the only thing we give them in planning is we say, okay, we're going to give you this idea of the free market, right? Because we've done it. This will be our 9th year. And we'll give you a date. And you become the project managers. Like literally, you're going to manage this project from beginning to end. That means budget, logistics, marketing. So they essentially become little project managers. And they kick off this huge event, which services over 700 plus people within 4 hours once a year. Our event is June 8th this year at the Elks. They've been great partners. They've donated the space to us for 9 years.
Well, they got that giant parking lot.
Yes. And so we one day, 9 years ago, we talked to somebody and they talked to somebody. And ever since then, they've been really great partners. And so for that day, we invite our community members to come out. And I mean, that's the homeless, but not necessarily homeless. That's anybody.
It's everybody and anybody
in need, right? Because
yes.
And they can come out and they can get free items. That's household goods. That's electronics. That's, toiletries, everything.
Books,
right. Toys, everything.
I hate going. You know why? Because
you get stuff.
Girl.
I know. I'm the same way.
Oh, God.
But what we do is, so we'll start collecting in the May time frame. And we're out behind the Elks and people are dropping off gently used items. And we do this and we're looking through things. And sometimes it's like, oh, this is really nice. And the one condition is if you we don't really get to take anything, but if there's something you just have to have, you have to bring something to, in exchange. You can't just walk away with anything. But what I really do enjoy about it, and we do this in partnership with Epsilon Iota Idol, and I might as well say the whole community because everyone's donating. But what I really do love about it is we give away these things called Delta Academy bucks, DAG bucks. And so when someone arrives to the free market, we'll have a registration and what have you, but they're given DAG bucks. So as they're shopping, because it's really a shopping experience, it's the store. Like we set it up, we have mannequins.
Oh, it's great.
So we go all out for that. And so they're able to exchange DAG bucks for things. So what I value about that is it's empowering, right? So it's not like I'm coming here with my hand out. They're able to exchange, and that's the empowering piece about it.
I love it. And listen, you have the health community show up too.
Yes, absolutely. So it is the Free Market and Health Symposium. And so we have a number of health providers. I know we have the dental. Stanley Dental. I can't remember the name of the pyramid.
I think it's Pyramid Dental Group or something. Yes.
Yes, we have the blood pressure.
I had my blood pressure. I had my blood pressure done.
Yes.
And I took a HIV test live on Facebook.
Oh, right.
People were like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I was like, if you don't know your numbers.
Hey, and that was awesome. I remember you did that. So yes, it's a whole health section. And so what you do if you come to the free market, what you can expect to purchase items and engage with our Delta Academy gyms and our members, and you get to go through the health symposium section of it as well, which is intertwined, and you're going to get information on your numbers and AIDS and HIV testing and the screening and glucose and giving away toothbrushes and things of such. And we have a smokehouse, so the fire department usually is out there, and the kids have an opportunity to learn about, if there was a fire, how do you save yourself and save your family. There's
don't forget the food.
Oh, the food, right? Free food. Yes. So you can get hot dogs and hamburgers, and all of that is for free. And that is because of sponsorships that we receive. So, when you're coming to Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated New Haven Alumni, chapter events, part of that money goes to scholarship and part of that helps with the programming. But it does, and we get sponsorships from, other community partners that help to pay for that. So, we've received funding from the Delta Foundation. In the past, we've received funding from, what is it? Oh, God, TPJ. Give it to me. Prosperity Foundation. Prosperity Foundation has provided funding for us. Yale, New Haven. So they've been, because of the those sponsorships, it helps us to put on these.
And we just came off having a big scholarship luncheon.
Yes, we did.
Right, because we got to keep the babies in school.
Absolutely.
And so we for however long I can remember, we've been raising money for scholarships. But these last 2 years, we launched our own luncheon.
Yes, we did.
got in the luncheon game.
Yeah, I know. So many people out there. Right. So yeah, so New Haven Alumni was chartered on October 3rd, 1959. So we'll be celebrating 60 years this year. So that's so awesome.
Whoa.
We've given away over $400,000 in scholarships. And so our scholarship luncheon was on Saturday. It's the second annual. In addition to scholarship luncheon, we 8 recipients received scholarships. And then we have 3 community awardees as well. So we've kind of combined the two. And so we highlighted them, celebrated them, danced. There was a beautiful expression of dance and song, and really just wanted to lift them up, just to say, number one, these are our future leaders and how proud we are of them. And just to recognize our community partners and just to, because they're in this work with us, and just to show our appreciation for them. And I would probably, let me just look at the name. So it was New Haven Scholarship Fund for Educational Enhancement, New Haven Reads for the Youth Development Award, and a Perfect Blend for the Community Impact Award. Yes,
wonderful. It was nice to see that. I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but I was there in spirit.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know it was a wonderful day. I saw the pictures on social media. Everybody looked beautiful. So Karimah, talk a little bit about, I'm always amazed that young women still pledge lifetime commitments to our sorority or any sorority or any fraternity. I'm always amazed that people still want to do this work in community. And this is, forget what you see. We're having a good time. This is a lot of work. This is a huge commitment of time to plan and to execute an agenda to uplift our entire community, because that's what we're doing, and it takes a lot of work. Talk to me a little bit about why you became a Delta, and what the landscape looks like for you these days around this sorority life.
So I became a Delta back in 1992. I just celebrated my 27th year anniversary. And at that time, it was a lot different. I was on college campus of Fairleigh Dickinson University. And I saw the Delta women on campus, and I was intrigued by the work that they did. But I don't even think then I knew how big this thing was. I didn't. I just knew that they were the people that were making things happen on campus. And so, I was intrigued by it. And so I went to, some events and learned more about it, and, pledged Pi Phi at that time. And from there, after I pledged, I was elected president at that time.
So you are naturally, you are a natural for this.
I just came into this. So, I was elected president of my undergrad. I pledged that as a sophomore. And again, I didn't really know, but as I stepped outside of my collegiate experience, which was awesome. Because at the time it was just, because I think I didn't know all of what Delta was. I was, very active and just, ready to do things, just moving at a more rapid pace. And so, after leaving undergrad and starting to look around, and it's like everywhere I turned, everybody that was somebody, I was like, wow, you're Delta? It just, we just, and even with any of the Greeks, right? It's just something special in the air about Black women, period. And then, when you meet fellow Greeks, but it's, when you looked around, there were Deltas everywhere. that were making impact in the world. And as I became a part of an alumni chapter, it's just like where I thought I had a voice then, it's just magnified. It's like when you get around a group of women that together are about uplifting the community and partnering with other organizations, because there's no way we could do this all on our own, right? The power is in the sisterhood of it all in Delta, and then the sisterhood outside of Delta, right?
Yes.
So today, what that looks like for me, it's busy. It really is. I always say it's like a second job. It really is, because there's so much. I mean, we can't. There's so much going on today that you can't really afford to be tired, right? There's work to do, and as much as we do, there's more work to do,
yes.
right? So I'm committed to that. New Haven Alumni is committed to that, because we have 124 women that stand right beside me.
And congratulations
in front,
and happy anniversary to the new
harmonious distinction. They're celebrating 1 year.
Oh, it was such a joy to see them.
Yes,
I mean, it really, that if anything renewed my faith in sisterhood, it was seeing them seriously come across. And I thought, wow, in this day and age, women still want to be a part of the 28. Collective. Right, 28 of them. I was like, what?
Yes.
And it was just and they're such eager and so energetic. So I'm always amazed every time I see them that, I pledged in 82,
right,
which is, 1,000 years ago. And so to see young women with the same enthusiasm that I had 30 something years ago, that right now,
right,
it's just incredible to me.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's needed. I mean, you need to refuel, right? So the important thing is to, take all of the wisdom and the expertise that we currently have, and the beauty of it is to be able to pull in new members, and then that way make it even better and enhance it. So that's the hope, is to broaden the sisterhood, but broaden the impact, right? Let's how do we do more with the more resources?
Yes.
Beautiful swords, but more resources.
More resources.
My business lingo. More resources we have, to impact the community. So, I mean, I love it. 27 years ago, I said lifetime commitment, but I don't even think I grasped that.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm
so
totally
either.
Clear now.
I think I'm more clear now, right?
Yes, yes.
I was like, I don't know what, 19, 20, whatever it was, I'm like 55 now.
Right.
Like, whoa, it seemed like a long time ago that I was, online with these young sisters, and so when I see these women who still are eager and wanting to do it, I'm renewed. Do you know what I mean? Like that it wells up in me that, wow, I remember that feeling of, because it can be overwhelming and you could be exhausted by this work. It doesn't matter if it's Delta Sigma Theta Sorority or NAACP or Urban League or whatever it is. You've been in it for a long time. And you start to feel like, oh gosh,
right.
But there's no room for tired. And the beauty is that other people can come up through the ranks, and you could sometimes step aside a little bit and allow, youth to jump in.
Yes. No, and I think the importance is remembering your why, right? Like, why?
Yes.
So those moments when, it's why did I join this art organization? Why do I do the work? It's about public service. It's about upliftment of our community. Hey, that's a forever job.
So, Karimah, talk a little bit about, do you think that Black Greeks have a future? Do you think we have a future moving forward? Because I know we're always ever evolving about membership and how that looks, and campuses are changing some of them are changing their tones on allowing, these kinds of organizations to be on campus. And so what do you think of the future for us?
I think absolutely. I think the landscape's changing a bit, for a number of reasons. But I believe that, we'll have to adjust. I know as an organization, we're making those adjustments, right? So that we can continue and thrive. Because you have to think about it, the college experience is so critical. Most of the work, like the founders of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated were collegiate women, at that age when you're so on fire and you have, most of the change in the world happened through youth, right? So
yes.
I couldn't see us ever doing away with that collegiate experience, and then you take it and you roll it up to an alumni experience and you magnify it. So I think we just need to navigate through the challenges that, that are out there. I mean, they're there. But I do believe, I personally can't see a future without the Greeks. I think we add too much value throughout all Greeks to the world. And when you look and you go and you say, oh, who's that? Delta has 6 congresswomen. Hey, I'm just saying, there are 6 congresswomen, but they're Deltas too, right? Yeah. So they're where the Greeks are everywhere. So I believe that I don't see us going anywhere, in my opinion.
I think you're right. I think we've weathered the storm. I mean, we're over 100 years old. We've seen a lot of change. We've come through civil rights. I mean, we've come through so much. So I think you're absolutely right that we will make the necessary changes so that we can move forward. So talk a little bit about, I find that these organizations are good training ground for higher aspiration. Do you find yourself thinking about, I like to be at the state level. I like to be at the national level. I mean, do you think about those kinds of things?
I do sometimes. I do. I believe that, I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, there's another platform for me. Personally, I do have some aspirations, and I just have to figure out, if I'll follow them. But yeah, I think there's opportunity, to do more locally, regionally. I don't think about nationally. But yes, I have some aspirations.
But there seems to be, I mean, I will say this, Delta is very good about the pipeline of grooming up and managing up talent. I see it across the land, and I think that's one of the strengths that we bring.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the work that we do, it really prepares you. You grow in this job. You can use the skills that you build here for work. If you wanted to go run for political office, I mean, the things that you learn in doing this type of work are transferable, and that's the great thing about it. And I do believe that Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated definitely, the things that we're doing, building leaders, it helps you lead anywhere.
And that's really what we're doing. I mean, we're building leaders, and so if you come in, unsure, you will get shorn up, right? Like you will be elevated, and you will be pulled into, you won't have a choice but to be pulled into leadership positions, because you'll just be called to it.
Yeah. And I think there's a space for everybody. So, sometimes people lead from the front, but some people, leading from the back. Right. So I think that you just need the beauty, and I can say the beauty for New Haven alumni specifically, is that there's space for everyone, right? So if you don't necessarily want to be the voice or speaking in engagements, and that's not your thing. However, coordinating this event behind the scenes, I know you did it. We all know you did it, but you don't want everybody else to know you did it. That's okay, right? So it's like there's a space for everybody, and that's what I appreciate about, because there's so much work to do.
I appreciate
so many
that
talent,
too.
So much talent.
There is a lot of talent, and I'm in awe of the talent. Like, I'm always amazed when I see sisters. I'm so proud, right? Like,
good.
I was like, "Ooh, that's my soror," right? Like, I love it. I love it. And so I'm always in awe of the way that women sort of come together and do this work. And I had made a promise to myself, because I hadn't been financially active for a long time. And then I said, I'm going to commit to my Black organizations. I'm going to commit to 2.
Okay.
And so my sorority is one. I'm going to give to that sorority, stay financial, because that's how you keep our organizations alive.
Right.
And then I'm going to pick another one. So I've been on and off with the NAACP only because I never go to those meetings, and I'm committed to them too, because I think the work that they do mirrors the work that we do, and it's necessary work.
Right. Yep. No, I agree.
And that's how we keep our organizations flush, when we take care of our own organizations.
Right. We have to support. I mean, yes, there is a financial component that allows us to do the work that we do. I think it's just the same that if you believe in any, again, nonpartisan, but if you believe in any political person that's running, and I mean, they just don't get there on their own, right? There's some financial support to help. Like, if you believe in it, then you
put your money there.
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
put up or shut up?
yeah,
Because you cannot. I mean, the Democrats have a whole field of folks. It's starting to look like a soccer team.
I know.
And I'm happy. I'm not like a lot of people. I like the more who jump in, the better off we will be, because the ones who really want to do it are the ones we'll have a big field to choose from,
Right.
which I'm excited about.
Yeah, and I think it's important to, if people are interested in running and they feel like they can do it, get out there. And then it's for us, the voters, to ask the questions, make sure that they care about the things that you care about, right? And then that helps us to make a more informed decision. So I like it because, I'm not opposed to it, because it allows for me to get more information so I can be an informed voter. So when I go to vote, which everybody out there, I know you're going to do.
That's right.
That is so important.
And we are on that too.
Yeah. It's important. And voter registration, voter drives. This year we did a lot around with voter registration and getting out the vote, and knocking on doors, and we'll continue to do that. And those are, the elections are coming up soon. You have the census coming up. That's important, making sure that
definitely.
we are aware. We're going to be all over that, helping to support in whatever way we can. I know there's discussion about putting the census on online and adding a citizenship question and all these things here, but rest assured, New Haven alumni, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority and Incorporated as a whole, this is something very important to us, because we know that everyone needs to be counted.
Yes.
So you'll see that all over social media and some of the activities.
And we're not afraid to ask the hard questions.
No.
I mean, we're just not afraid to hold people accountable. We're not afraid to sort of remind people of, the power of Black women. I mean, we're just not afraid to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we build our base on. You're like, listen, somebody has to advocate, because each of us can advocate for ourselves, but we are advocating for community, right? For other sisters who got those, third shift jobs and can't go and be a voice. So we are that voice.
Absolutely. And the way the way that you can feel confident in that is just making sure that you are engaged with your community, right? So you're out there and you're hosting these events and you're getting their feedback, and in that way you make sure that, when you're saying you're the voice, that you're really speaking for the people, and or even if I'm not the voice, that if I can encourage you to come to the table, be your own voice, right? So, I mean, it's not like, we're the end all be all, but, we want to make sure that you're aware, that that you understand the issues. If you don't know how to ask the certain questions, how can we help you so that you can advocate and join us in, advocating for the larger group as a whole. So
Karimah, do you ever dream about where do you see New Haven Alumni Chapter going? What is the biggest dream that you have for it? Because you're the president for how much longer?
1 more year.
1 more year.
Yes.
So in a year, anything is possible. What is the big Karimah dream that you want to see happen?
That's a good question. When I think about it, where I'd like to, there's a couple of pieces to that, but I think the most important thing for me is to see how we can partner better with other organizations. I know the power that each of the different organizations in Greater New Haven have as individuals, but what I'd love to see is how we can synergize on those key issues that are important to our community, and see how we can transform.
Yes.
I appreciate, some of the incremental changes that we're making, but what I'd love to see is some transformational change. And I believe we can do it. And I think we're heading there, because, we're partnering here, we're partnering there. But, I think we have opportunities to support from an economical perspective. Like, how do we, get better jobs in here for our community, and things for children to do after school, where our teens can be, where they can get more employment. So for me, it really is about, building better partnerships, expanding our reach, meeting people where they are. I just want to get out there more and connect with more of our community, because some people can't get to us. Like, I have Delta Academy and gyms, and I might be having it at this facility. And we've tried a couple of different things to pull more people in. But how do I fill that room with the most people who need it? Like, that's important to me. So I think that we're, it's just to continue to do what we're doing, making sure that we're aligned with our national headquarters, that we're focused on the things that are important to New Haven, Hamden, our service area, and how do we shift and become more impactful. So it's just bigger, more impactful, and partnering. If I just had to summarize it, I mean, I have some other like vision pieces, but if the theme is that, I think that's what I like to see.
So how does Karimah take care of herself? How do you recharge and replenish? How do you keep going? But I don't mean keep going like, oh, I'm gonna drag myself through this life. But how do you realize that you need to sort of step back? I know you just got back from a vacation, and we were riding up in the elevator, and you were talking about, listen, I know I couldn't go for the whole vacation.
Yes.
But I'm gonna make it for the last leg of this part, and it was in Morocco.
Yes.
And your Instagram photos, you looked holy.
Thank you.
I mean, you really did look holy. I mean, I could see it. And so how does Karimah take the time?
Well, I mean, I'm blessed. My family, so everyone who knows me know I am like, and I know it's so cliche, but I am truly like, my family bring me the most happiness. I have 2 brothers. My mom, my husband, and a slew of nieces and nephews, which I love like my own, and my sorors, right? So they're really great. The friendships. I mean, that's one of the differentiators for Delta Sigma Theta for me, is the sisterhood, right? So spending time with them, and anytime I can get next to nature, I have found some peace.
Yes.
So get me to the water. Most of the time, my husband knows, like, if I'm like, I'm feeling a little crazy, like, okay, where's the water? You need to, let's get you to some water. You need to relax. And generally within seconds, it's instant. It's not, I don't have to be there long, but it does something for me. So I think those are the things that help me, help recharge me. And just knowing that you're making a difference. Sometimes you don't always see it, right? Because sometimes it's slow. But things like free market, when you get that instant and that smile on your chin, it's like, that's good. There's a reason. So yeah, I try to travel when I can. Try to spend times with my sisters and my family, and I thank God. I pray a lot. Try to go to church as often as possible.
Where'd you go?
Barrack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And what we've been doing as part of Delta, we just closed out on our sisterhood month.
Yes.
We were going to different churches every week. So,
I went last year. I went to so many churches last year.
I should have known there's a bunch of churches, but I had never gone in them. I've been in Connecticut 15 years now, and there were some churches.
But churches is hard. It's a hard thing, because if you go to your church, you find a church, you go to that church,
and then you're good.
Yeah,
right?
you're good. You're like, I'm not shopping for churches,
exactly.
so this gives you a chance to
yes,
check out other places.
Yeah. So I think that's it for me. I'm blessed. I just think just making sure that you have some balance, because that's one of, when we talk about a Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated's mission, in the mission statement, it states, for the constructive development of its members and to public service. So it's like, hey guys, yeah, I want you to go out there and advocate for the world, but I want you to take care of you too.
Yes.
So there's this balance. And one of our programs that we have internally is Delta Care. It's a Delta Care initiative. And what we do,
I know, I get these emails from Shaka.
It's like, hey.
And they come at the right time. I was like,
yes, I needed
but
that.
Yes.
Right.
I was like, I have to be reminded to take care.
Right. So yeah, that definitely helps out some.
What's your favorite event? I don't want to put you on the spot, but I do. What's your favorite Delta event?
Delta as a whole. So Delta as a whole, my favorite event now is Delta Days in the nation's capital.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is action-packed. You are getting in there. You're learning about the bills. You go to Capitol Hill. I love that. And so, social action is the core of who we are. I mean, it's in everything. Every program we do, we always add a social action component. It's really not different. Program, social action combined. So I love that. I think you get an opportunity to engage with the leadership. They're like right there, and it with you. So that's my favorite event now. It used to, It used to be more of like convention because that's where you go and get some of the national, get updates.
Yes.
But by hands down, it's the Delta Nation's capital.
Well, that's cool. I like that. I think my favorite event is the free market.
Okay. So yes, free market locally.
I love the nation's capital because I love when I see those pictures on the news of all these women just blanketing the Capitol in red.
Yes.
But that is magic.
For locally, free market, hands down.
It's my favorite. You know why? Because it just puts us right there, one with the community. Just one right there. And it's just a wonderful day. And I see these kids running around. And it's just like, it reminds me of when I was a kid and we had block parties.
Right. It does.
Right? It's got that feel to it.
It has that feel. And can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
Well, it's not a secret. That's my brainchild. Like, that's what when I came up with the whole free market. So it's like,
I love it.
So I really love it. Like, I really love it.
I love it. Yes, I do.
It's awesome.
I try not to go there to get stuff. I was like, oh Lord, please don't let me see a book that I want. And I've never once left in the 9 years that you've been doing it left empty-handed.
Yeah. And it's good. And again, like you said, there's so many things. The community conversations is awesome.
I love that. I loved it. I loved it when we launched it because there was nothing else like it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Yes. Like, it was purposeful and it was intentional, and people were like, "Whoa!" Yeah. So now you see conversations everywhere, right? And I love, and people give us the nod. We're like, I was at this Delta conversation, and we thought we'd have a conversation.
Yeah, the more conversation, the better.
Yes, that's the only way we can get ourselves out of this mess that we're in with this administration. But that's a whole other story. But talking to people is a wonderful thing. And then you've got Karen DeBose Walton and Kevin Walton doing these storytellers, which is just conversations as far as I'm concerned.
I love it.
So it's just that in a whole different arena, but it's the same. Everybody's talking and you're listening and we're paying attention and connecting. So that's richness.
I agree.
Karimah, I enjoyed you today.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you could come.
I appreciate you for having us, having me here in representation of my 124 wonderful members of New Haven alumni. This gives us an opportunity, to kind of share some of our programming. I didn't cover it all. I think the only other thing I wanted to add, we talked about tomorrow. So again, tomorrow, please come out and join us for our He Said, She Said Delta Day in City Hall from 5:30 to 8:30. You are in for a treat. That is going to be a great event. And then I know we have our May Week activities, which are coming out. So if you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, on Facebook, you'll get all of our up-to-date information. Free market we talked about. And then we do have our last fundraiser for the year, which is I believe it's Code Red. I want to say this right because Paula.
Are we doing lobster and crab this year?
I'm not sure. We are looking to validate the dates on that.
Okay.
To see. So there'll be more to follow. Where is my it's I think it's the Delta Day. It's Code Red.
What is that? Is it a day party?
It's our day party.
All right.
I was trying to find here it is. Red Alert Day Party.
Okay.
That's what it is. So that'll be on Sunday, June 9th. So the day after free market.
Okay.
So you'll get information about the tickets.
And those day parties are, I was so resistant to a day party.
I know.
But Michelle Turner has gently reminded me, girl, a day party is a good idea. So I'm embracing it.
Yes.
But because I'm getting of a certain age now that, a day party makes sense.
And and the last one we had was really good. We had like hundreds and hundreds
my God,
of people.
Girl.
They had the steps and the neos.
And they had to like bump it up upstairs, right?
It was good.
That was
good. So we're hoping for another one.
Girl, that was a damn good party.
Yeah,
that was a good party. So thank you, Karimah.
Thank you so much.
I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to get over there to City Hall.
Thank you.
And thank y'all for listening. This is my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta sorority. I'm glad you all have tuned in today. This will play again at drive time.
Okay.
So people will hear it again.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Thank you all.
And I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you, Harry.
Bye.
Right.